So, welcome everyone. My name is Tony Cockmore, president of Civil CAD Learning Solutions, also president of the DFW Infrastructure User Group, and welcome to another session of CAD After Dark. And so tonight we're going to talk about Revit. So we got two Revit experts tonight with us. We'll have somebody, Danya, also probably joining with us. We may have some other people joining with us. We are recording this video so people can listen to it later on, and we'll place it on the YouTube channel and also our MeWe platform. So. Rita and Zanta, you like introduce yourself, what you do at your current location, where you're located, and what you do. So,
all right. Hi, I'm Rena. I am the architectural BIM manager at Fishbeck in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And right now, Grand Rapids, Michigan is blanketed with a lot of snow. So hopefully I don't sound cold.
How much snow you got right now up there?
A lot.
A lot.
It's been snowing all day. Too much, really. We don't want it. I mean, you can have it. But yeah, as BIM manager, I take care of standards, libraries, families, work in production. I do a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, the highlight of today was creating parametric families for dome-shaped skylights. Interesting.
Cool.
Very interesting.
Cool. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Zanta. I am an application engineer for a private company, Autodesk reseller, Repro Products. So I teach, support, implement, train in all the Autodesk products like AutoCAD, Revit, Navisworks, BIM Collaborate, ACC, things like that. My days, they kind of vary from day-to-day duties. I'm based out of here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's cold, like 32 degrees, but there's no snow yet. So it's okay. Yeah, right. Let's see. And what did I do today? I spent most of my day creating and getting prepped to do a BIM execution plan for a big client. So that's a lot of reading and documentation and T's and I's, dotting and crossing. And but yeah, so that's who I am. That's what I do, and that's the work stuff. So.
And besides, that goes to prove that BIM is not just Revit. You know?
Correct.
I guess today's highlight, big story was Autodesk on cloud services. Most of the cloud servers went down. So what was it like for your office today? Was you affected? What was happening at your office?
Well, we did get quite a few panic-driven messages. Hey, can you open any projects? I wasn't, because I opened up my projects. I was trying to open my projects kind of late in the day, but but there were some people who got up bright and early. They were able to get in. They were able to work. But the rest of my day, when I wasn't developing parametric dome-shaped skylights, was corresponding with IT, and then talking to my fellow elites.
Yeah,
just to get an inside view of what's going on and what's not going on. So by the end of the workday, I was able to look at my projects in BIM 360 on the web, but I was not able to open any BIM 360 projects.
So was your phone lit up like a Christmas tree today?
My guys were surprisingly restrained, but they kept on getting updates from IT about what's going on. So I think that the panic was remarkably restrained. I'm proud of them.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, on my end, being the reseller, I did get a lot of emails and phone calls from clients early in the morning. I did start seeing all the warning alerts and crashes in the middle of the night on my phone, because you can subscribe to health.autodesk.com. Yep. And it basically, lets you know the status and when something goes down.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just fielding all of those as they came in, not as much as I thought there would be, but, you have clients that are like every hour, they're like, so where's it at? Where's it at? I said, just go to the website and just check and you'll see. And then, we do get the alerts from Autodesk stating where they stand on it. And I said, you just got to be patient as I told you before, you have to have backup plans in place.
Yep.
But for the most part, it was actually pretty quiet for me.
It was.
Which was surprising, which was very surprising.
I hear that the forums were kind of loud. But besides that, no, I haven't heard of much excitement.
Yeah.
Was it legit loud or was it just complaining? Because most people just complain.
Uh-huh. I've heard of some complaints on
I'm
the
just
lines of,
saying
hey,
like it
I was
is.
better off with a VPN.
I didn't even know it was happening until I was on social media. I saw people ranting about it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they
I
would.
didn't know it until I saw people's rants. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, okay. I see.
No, my phone started blowing up at around 2:30 in the morning.
Hey, Christina,
Oh.
thanks for joining us. If you
Hey,
want to kind of
Christina.
introduce yourself, what you do. We
Hey,
were just talking
Christina.
about the big highlight today with all the cloud services going down in Autodesk, and what was it? Did it affect your company? And if you want to kind of introduce yourself and what happened today.
Oh, hi, my name is Christina Youngblood, and I actually just started a new job about a month ago, pre-engineered.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
thank you.
It's awesome.
Always
And I
exciting.
haven't been in the office in 13 years. I've been working remotely, so I've had to switch gears, and it was quite a shift. But I'm getting through it, and Tony has been patient. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I started as an estimator for pre-engineered fabric structures. It's a skill I kind of always wanted to bring into like my repository, and I'm kind of excited. This was a real challenge, but not scared of a challenge.
It's just another day in the office, I hear.
Yeah, so a big shift with it was that they only use Autodesk or AutoCAD Lite in Office. So I am my biggest hurdle right now is learning my limitations with a light version of AutoCAD, because you have like 80% less tools available. I just went to write a script and it was like, no, you can't load that there. You got to do it the old fashioned way where you copy and paste it into your command line. And then you find out that half of the commands don't work. And you're just like,
why? Exactly.
There is a very easy solution to that. You just tell everybody in the office to switch to a full-blown version of AutoCAD.
I have been very adamant. I actually hold an ADN network license for my stuff that I'm doing personally. And I'm like, can I just use my computer? And they're like, no, you've got to use this one. And they use SolidWorks as well. So getting reintroduced to the SolidWorks PDM network. So I'm not dealing with the Autodesk cloud system right now. I'm learning the SolidWorks, and it's so weird.
It's a whole new world there.
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah. And there's fantastic people that work there, but not their skills. I don't mean this as an insult, but it's focused on what they've been doing there. And, there's not a lot of technical advancement. So people aren't thinking outside the box other than the box they've been given. So it's very interesting trying to navigate, a new working mindset.
Yeah.
It's a good challenge. It's a good challenge.
It is estimating. I've done some, but I've never done it to this capacity.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So all three of y'all are more on the, no, because I mean, we have the Revit structural, the Revit EVP, and Revit architecture. Rena, you're probably on the architecture side, would you say?
Correct.
And then Zonta, what side would you be?
I'm on all three, but I would probably say 65-70% is architecture, 20% is structure, and the rest is MEP. It just depends on the client and what what they want to learn and do.
And Christina, what side are you kind of on?
Mine is, I'm going to say architectural just because this falls in that realm, but it's been for the last 20 years manufacturing. So I've been helping manufacturers adopt Revit into their companies and being able to have content. Because as we all know, manufacturer BIM content is a nightmare. And so
no, it's not.
I was very lucky to be part of the Autodesk Seek Days. So I was able to participate in writing some of the foundations that they used for that. I even contributed a few hundred models to the original program. It's kind of sad that it ended. I really felt that they had.
I remember that.
I remember that. Seek that
I've been 10 years.
I remember that.
That's been forever.
I promoted that like crazy too. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
And I remember even getting copies, drafts of the original standards and workflow operations for it and marking it up, but it's just like, oh gosh.
So Tony, Rena, I think she's actually really a Jedi in disguise, Doesn't
no
sound
magic
like
in
she's
the
a
house.
newbie. I'm sorry, but
I have not been at Revit as long as Rena. I saw your post from either today or a few days ago where you posted, I think it was you. Somebody posted like a CAD, like an old magazine. Was it not you? Maybe it wasn't. Oh, I haven't been.
It was probably
I gotta-
Danya.
it cannot be me. I haven't been posting anything for a while. I've
Yeah.
been in a hole.
But
for a
somebody
It was
while.
me.
posted
Okay, it was me.
It was this
If it was a
beautiful
good article and it got a lot of likes and everything, it was me. No.
Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it all just kind of blurs, and I'm not sure.
Well, the one guy I'm working with, I found out that I actually started AutoCAD the year before he was born. And I'm just like,
Dude.
ugh.
That's not right.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
no, you don't want to know stuff like
Yeah, a
that.
contest. What version of AutoCAD did you start with?
Oh, my
I
Oh.
did figure this out. I think I did that with Tony. We were trying. You had asked me that question. We were trying.
I
to
think you
figure that
guys
out.
got me beat.
Oh,
Yeah, I started in release 9.
okay.
Oh,
Mine was like 2 or 3.
See, I told you, Jedi.
that's
into
a long
space.
time ago.
It's a
Wow.
long time
Wow.
ago.
Yeah.
I
Release
was a
10. That's
Yeah,
version.
I started late. Mine was like 12 or 11 in the military because I didn't do it in high school. We had it, but I didn't do it in high school. I could have done it in high school, but I didn't. So I started in the military, and it was either AutoCAD R11 or 12. And then
Okay,
it
so
went to
so
desktop
second
and then
trivia.
yeah.
When did you start Revit? Who started Revit first? Let's see. Rena, when did you start learning Revit? Christine, when did you start
07.
learning
I
Revit?
would say 07 or 08.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
hold on, I have to think of 06, 07.
Yeah,
I have to,
that's
yeah,
pretty good. That's pretty good. I started in 2008.
yeah. Well,
And
hey,
2007, 2008.
we're
Right.
legacies here.
Don't say
2021.
that. I'm
Is
trying
that
not to
late?
be old. Stop it.
For
But
me,
you're building tools and solutions for the programs you use as well, Tony. So I think you've got some good excuses.
yeah, I have it. I just open it up every now and then. I'm like, and close it.
Touch it.
Yeah, like, oh, I have
Oh,
it.
it's still there.
It's still
Yeah, it still opens.
there.
That's not right. We
let
used to
me-
do that with AutoCAD architecture.
Oh my God. You know, there was a
Sorry,
time when
I'm sorry, I had to
loved
say that.
I loved AutoCAD
I
architecture.
did too. Oh my gosh. And in the manufacturing industry, people wouldn't adopt it. And it was driving me insane. It's like, do you not
That-
understand?
yeah, that's
Hybrid
weird.
went away.
You're right. That's weird because ACA was very good for manufacturing, especially like in those fabricated buildings and just trying to do process design work.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm surprised.
And
Even
like,
to
I know
today.
you can't compete with Revit when it comes to the 3D and dynamic
Correct.
modeling and all that kind of stuff. But
The
people
parametric modeling.
fully underappreciate the parametric designs of AutoCAD. I love those because I built tools and solutions for them. And then even the new design center where you have a wall system where you draw a
Mhm.
plan and then you look in 3D and then it's in 3D. It's not Revit, but they've made some
They
strides.
made a lot
in
of
that.
progress. Yeah. they did.
Yeah, and I feel, and I just found out recently you can, there's a load attributes or edit attributes for the blocks in AutoCAD. So I'm gonna dig around in that and see if I can poke that there.
Mhm.
All right. So the next topic question I have is what happened to Revit Live and VR? Is it dead? Is that technology dead? Where is it going? Does anybody
Bye-bye.
do, Revit and VR anymore, pushing into VR?
Rena, do you know?
Ever since Revit 2018, that was when Revit Live went bye-bye.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. This is entirely my thought. I think that Revit Live was kind of an example of jack of all trades, master of none. There are things that Revit does really well, and VR is not one of them.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Especially when there's so many other software you can export to and
Exactly.
state and everything. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that the partnership between Revit and Enscape is particularly fruitful.
Yes.
is.
So it's
From what I can tell.
user-friendly, it's there when you need it, it gives some good quality output.
The last time I looked at the like Revit Live or even any kind of Revit in VR was when we were at Autodesk University in Vegas. It had to be four, maybe 5 years
very
ago.
long, right? It wasn't around very long.
No,
No,
2 or 3 years.
But I remember that they were trying to take the Revit Live, and connect with Unity.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys saw
This
that.
is 19. This
Okay.
is 19
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah.
about. That
So
was the
I
thing,
remember
the
I
big
sat
announcement.
down with them. Right. I sat in their big guest room at the hotel at the Venetian, and they talked about all of that stuff. They wanted us to get into it, and I wasn't sure. I didn't have the authority to go deep into it, but that was the last time I heard of it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really odd because we used to have the VR in InfraWorks, and then they removed it and went to 3ds Max Live, and then they discontinued that also with Revit Live. I'm like, okay, are we just totally discontinuing VR? You know, the whole VR thing, technology.
I think it's more, bringing in other apps.
Yep.
Just bringing in a dedicated app and plugging it into Revit and seeing how that flies.
So they bought, what was it last year? The VR Iris.
Twinmotion is the latest kid on the block.
Twinmotion.
And Twinmotion's actually been around for a few years.
For a long, yeah.
I was touching Twinmotion before I got Enscape, but Enscape was just better for Revit.
Better.
There you go. But
Easier
now
to use.
Twinmotion plays with Revit, so that was the objective of this year.
Yeah. And Tony, have you been into Enscape yet? You can
haven't dabbled
use.
in
He hasn't
year.
cracked
I've
open
heard all
Revit,
the
so he ain't
improvements they
touching
made,
Enscape.
So
Well,
didn't
it
they-
also works
didn't they
with like
acquired,
solid.
right? They got acquired. Or they acquired somebody. There was something, one
They
of those.
did something. What's that?
Hey, Donnie, thanks for joining us. We're having a few drinks.
Yay.
having a
And
few
you
drinks.
started a new
can't
job, so
hear you.
congratulations. And you have to unmute yourself,
muted.
Yes, we can't hear you. There she is.
We're getting close up though.
Yes, we can all see you very well. We just
Thank
can't
you.
hear
Is that
you.
better?
There you go.
Perfect.
I've been trying to get on for 15 minutes. My computer won't let me log in. Something's going on. One of my monitors died.
You're
the
supposed to
doctor's
call
appointment.
IT.
Exactly.
MIT.
Yeah. You know yourself. I don't know if you ever watched that show, The It Crowd, and then he's got an auto machine that says, "Have you unplugged your computer and turn it back on?" That's his first comment.
That's not right.
Unplug the computer and turn it back on. It's a funny
Oh
show.
my
It's about
gosh.
IT guys. So
We're
I'll
nerds.
check it out. I need a new work.
it's like a British comedy. It's called
Love
an
it.
IT Crowd.
Dry comedy.
Oh,
That's
And-
honestly the best. You can't
Yep.
get
can't.
better than that.
Yeah. So Donnie, we were just talking about, just how, Revit Live was dead in 18 or 19, and then 3ds Max Live was also shut down, and then now it was Iris VR that Autodesk acquired, which is actually a VR platform that I used 2 years ago to push out VR. The only problem I didn't like about it was they wanted to charge by storage. So the bigger the files, the more money they got. So you can get up to like $500 a month on just storage.
wow.
On VR models, I'm like, that's just too much. So but Autodesk has now acquired them. Hopefully they're going to try to integrate that, technology and VR, pushing anybody's platform into that. So
Is that where the wild is?
yeah, the Wild. Yeah. So I think that's the original company name, but they own the Iris VR.
My company bought us these so that we could
Nice.
get on.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Interesting.
That's cool.
What
Yeah.
manufacturer brand is that?
What is it? MetaQuest?
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, medical. Okay. I'm curious. I'm starting to see people using those things. I tried it at my friend's house the other day. He had it hooked up, and it was cool. They were expecting me. We did this one where they were like, you get into this elevator. The elevator goes all the way up to the top. The elevator door opens, and there's a plank, and you have to walk to the edge of the plank without falling. And if you fall, you literally fall off the building and go all the way down and go splat on the pavement. And it was hilarious because they were like, I would watch them do it, and they would like this one. She was deathly afraid. She just could barely step out of the elevator. And then I just walked out there, walked on the plank, turned around, walked back. She was like, "What the hell?"
That's
But
happened
then
to
he
me.
goes, "Yeah." But then he goes, "Just purposely fall down." I'm like, "Okay." So you fall down, and it's kind of freaky to watch you fall down, and then you just die. Like
Oh.
get up.
Oh my God.
So-
Christina, it's funny
Yes.
you mentioned about the Inkscape and the Xbox controller. Andy, who's a big civil guy down in Austin, he was doing some VR stuff with Civil 3D and InfraWorks. And then you push it into like Twin Motion. He created an avatar, and you control the avatar running around like a game with his Xbox controller. So he's running around this apartment complex with his little Xbox. He did it in
Wow.
one of our presentations when I had it here in my user group presentation here in Dallas. And yeah, he had a little Xbox. He did it in InfraWorks, and then took it back to, I think, 3ds Max, and then took it into like Lumion or Twin Motions, and then just gave us a
Jeez.
controller. And all right, start running around. And the guys like jumping the fencing. And just,
Oh my
That's
God.
really cool.
yeah.
Genius and way too much time on your hand.
Yeah. It's,
Sorry.
But to know how to process it, develop
Hell
it.
yeah.
well,
That's
here's
what I'm
the
saying.
funny part.
Genius. Genius.
It's because Autodesk doesn't run this, but Autodesk was the gold sponsor of this event. So Andy's in there just bashing InfraWorks, and so he's just destroying about the 3D modeling aspects of it. And then behind me was one of the main InfraWorks project managers, and I'm like sitting there like, crap, he's the gold sponsor. He's here representing Autodesk. We had like 5 Autodesk people there, and I'm like, fuck. And I had to go apologize. Like, oh, I'm sorry that he was in there bashing your product, that you're the project manager. I wasn't expecting him to say that. So
Oh, man.
it was kind of embarrassing because he's sitting right behind me, like, fuck, I know he's just not ranting right now, right in front of the project manager Autodesk. I was like, they're never going to be the gold member again for me.
Mhm.
So hoping, but I think he took it as constructive criticism. So,
And you have to. Everybody has bad days with software, right?
well, exactly. I tell people there's no such thing as a perfect software. There would never be updates then.
What?
No such thing as
What are you
perfect.
talking about? Revit's awesome.
PowerCAD
Glad to
never
my-
needs updates.
Soft desk 8. No.
It draws circles, lines, and squares, and that's all you need.
And what about BIM 360? It's gone through the 4th or 5th name change?
Wow.
Oh.
I know. Every 2 years they
Ooh.
change the name. You're like, what?
Maybe
where
every
are
year.
we now?
Because they're trying to get people to keep interested in it without
Yeah.
knowing that
Mhm.
it's not doing very well.
Exactly.
You know, Autodesk doesn't call Forge anymore. Right?
No, it's now Autodesk something
plus.
solutions.
Platform services.
That's right. Yeah, I have to change it
Oh my
on
God,
my
I still
program. Thank you. Changing all
Yeah.
the branding.
All the rebranding and stuff. Yeah, it is crazy. So, and then the rebranding of just departments, restructuring departments, like in the community groups, all these different community groups that Autodesk is creating.
Mhm.
So, rebranding those groups, rejoining, they had the Autodesk group network. Now that's going to be rebranded, reshuffled, but now we have Autodesk Community Conversations, which, the community
Mhm.
voices, which is now going to be merged all together, so it's interesting, but
Donna, you okay? We only see a part of you.
We see your forehead. Oh, now there's
She's-
2 of her.
she's
Oh,
gaming.
oh,
She's
Johnny,
over
I
there
don't
playing
think we're
Fortnite.
ready for 2 of you.
Echo.
she's playing Fortnite
How do I leave the other one?
and Frogger, so
I don't think the world is ready for 2 of Danya.
Mm.
So, all right. So the next question I have is, how are you? I mean, how many of you are still dealing with your company that works on multiple versions of Revit, or your whole company and all your offices still in the same version? Do you have offices
No.
like, oh, I'm in 18 and another office is in 2022 or something?
It all depends upon the project, because
Yeah.
older projects are still there on 19, at least in our office. And there have been a couple of cases where it was an owner request that we work in whatever was the
Mhm.
correct version at that point in time. So we do have a couple of 20s and 21s, but now just by default, all projects are created in 2022, and there's a conscious effort to make sure that everyone's on the same build, just so that we don't have any crazy project corruption taking place.
Yeah.
Mm.
In Revit, I mean, is it possible for the user to know which version they're in before they click on the file and open it? It does tell you?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
I'm kind of curious.
But most
the open-
people don't actually know that or know how to look. So
Yeah.
unfortunate.
You know, you're supposed to give people the benefit of the doubt.
I worked I worked as a content aggregator for 20 years. We still had Revit 2015
Sure.
files.
From my side, as being on the reseller side, the clients that we work and deal with, for the most census, they're in 2021. 2022.
Yeah, 2
There's
years
just a
back
hand.
is
There's just a handful that are on 2023. But most know that 2018 and older is pretty much obsolete. So
Yes. And there was a big enough shift between 18 and 19 that
yes,
it's important to
Yes.
get people upgraded past that. It was like coming from, was it 2009 to 2010?
yeah.
That was the ribbon.
That was
Then
a
when they
shift.
changed the materials, that was my
Mhm.
nightmare
Yeah.
Mhm.
because they disassociated all of the material.
I think also the interface changed a bit
Yeah,
too.
the
I don't know. I'm getting
AutoCAD,
older. I
Civil
don't
3D.
remember, but
Yeah, they went
Yeah,
from
they-
the classic to the ribbon.
Yes, that's right. And
there
they
was
changed
quite a
it.
bit of there was quite a bit of contention.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
mhm.
I guess Zonta, are you still seeing clients since you're on the reseller side calling about support for like AutoCAD architecture?
I only think let's see, this is November, right?
Yes.
So I probably have had 2 clients this past year
Yeah.
call or email me saying they have a question about AutoCAD architecture.
I
I honestly believe,
do
I'm serious. I mean, I honestly believe there are practically, I can't find anybody else that's using AutoCAD architecture anymore.
Yeah.
And if they do, I always tell them, go to Revit.
Go to ribbon.
Just go to Revit.
Yeah,
Trust me.
indirectly, you do see the occasional Autodesk architecture ticket.
Yeah.
So I just, kind of gloss over them because I'm not going to touch
The
them.
ones I see is home builders. They're small little home builder developers, and they don't use Revit, so they're just designing with AutoCAD architecture.
Or they're
Mm.
using other applications too. Like
Mhm.
I've
And
had
there are a
clients-
lot of good.
There are
Yeah,
quite a
they-
few
Oh,
of them.
Yeah, a
A
few
lot
good
of
small
home builder,
programs.
custom home builders design.
Mhm,
So I know for a fact there's a lot here down at DFW I've run into.
mhm.
I know a guy here I think I told y'all this story, but he does multimillionaires and around the DFW area, and these are 10,000 square foot homes and bigger, and he's doing it with AutoCAD architecture 2009.
Oh my gosh, all of the
Wow.
support he's missing, all of the benefits and fees.
There's no support available for that because
Yeah.
even if he tries to put in a ticket, that ticket is just
Yeah,
going
it
to be
gets rejected.
Like
it's
you
going
said,
to
yeah.
be sent back to Autodesk to deal with.
It'd be funny if I like, oh yeah, I got an update for that, AutoCAD architecture 2009, and then install Revit. Oh, here's the update. So like, what? Oh, it's too late.
Well,
You can't go back.
for clients who are kind of in that situation, it usually is because they've spent so many years customizing their content and their workflow that for them to switch to something like Revit
Yeah.
is a complete workflow change, and it's
Learning curve,
almost
yeah.
impossible. It's a big learning curve, and
Yep.
when you get older, you get stubborn. I
Yep.
mean, more stubborn.
Speak
so
for
you don't want
yourself.
to
Typically,
gray.
you're gonna lose about
It's
10%.
quiet. I'm
profit
only
when you-
20. Shut
when
up.
you roll out an application like that, especially in Civil 3D. I always tell companies that move to Civil 3D from like Len Desktop, that
Mm.
first year you will lose 10% profit on all your projects across the board because of that
Yeah.
huge learning curve.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that is
You
a tough
gain
one.
it back in the next
But
2
you get it
years
back.
after.
Yeah.
yeah, you get it back next year. So
Or you fire everybody.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't say that out loud. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, crap. This is being recorded.
You were thinking it out loud.
I love that whole train of thought you just had there.
The whole team is gone. You're gone. We're going back to
Yeah.
AutoCAD.
And
Isn't
we
that
may
what-
laugh
isn't that
about
what
that,
Twitter
but how
did?
many times did that happen in reality?
Oh,
Well, that's
imagine.
true. No,
yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, look at Elon. Look what he's doing. He's ripping out
Yeah,
Twitter
you're
people.
all
So-
gone. The whole department. That's like
But
2008.
Amazon's doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of other places.
Oh, Facebook. Yeah, they got rid of like thousands of Meta, programmer
Jeez.
guys. Yeah, in the Meta.
Yeah, and Amazon's supposed to lay off like what 10, 20,000
Yeah.
before
I heard-
Christmas.
Yeah, I heard there's going to be a massive,
That's sucky.
a
But
massive
that's
drop
across the
of
board.
tech.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
thought that Facebook was a bad move. Like, wait, how many people are actually doing VR? Why would you create 1,000 jobs or 10,000 jobs? Beginning of last year, knowing that a very small percentage of people are on Facebook in VR. So I knew it wasn't going to last.
Maybe it was just a gamble that they wanted to take, and it
I
didn't
mean,
pan out.
And they did all that release with all those avatars and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I never even activated one of them.
Uh-uh.
I'm
Neither
like,
have I.
My
Yeah.
mother-in-law was like, do it so we can have like buddies. I'm like,
We can just
Okay,
FaceTime.
yeah.
Hello. It's
Yeah.
like, why do I need to see an avatar? We can just
I don't
Well,
need
just-
a cartoon version of myself.
yeah.
We have enough headache as it is.
Yeah.
right?
I've got 3 children. They'll do that for me.
So, how many are on the community feedback? I think all of y'all are on the beta.
I do, but they don't want my feedback, so I don't.
Yeah, wow, they never listen to my feedback. But do y'all typically, when you're doing that, I'm assuming, are you doing that on your like at home on your own personal computer, or are you doing like a virtual machine? Like
What's the
when you
logic
install
behind the
Revit,
question?
like when I do beta, I installed it on my virtual gaming system, so it doesn't affect my personal computer at home, because my personal computer also has the working, civil.
Oh yeah. We always have a test bed machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a computer that was just a spare. Its
Mhm.
graphics card is crap, but it's good enough to run a beta version. But
Yeah.
I'm learning to adjust my time to get more into the beta
Yeah.
realm. I'm still new to it, but I have a dedicated computer just because I had a spare.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm just way too busy to even try to get back into the
Exactly.
beta
They've been
and
very
alpha
kind with
softwares.
they've been patient.
Mhm.
But
And so here's
hard to
probably-
doubt. Go on.
So here's a dumb question. Because in Civil
No,
3D,
no
I
doubt.
can install multiple versions. Can you install multiple Revit on your computer? Like, I have-
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
some don't like each other. So
Yeah.
when 2017 it came out or something, what I think
I have seen like you remember back in the day when they had the design suites? Like what I was saying was that when we had those design suites, I do remember there was a big issue with installing 2016, 17, and 18 on the
Mhm.
design suites because they were conflicting so much with the Microsoft redistributable C++ files. So I had to write up a document on how to rip out what you needed to rip out in the right sequence to install everything properly. So yeah. It was a good 8 months of just like dealing with it. I remember client after client. I'm like, here's the document. Follow this set of instructions and you'll be fine. And they did. I sent the document to Autodesk and they documented it. So
oh, that's wonderful.
Nice.
it's great. But it's a pain in the butt. It's an absolute pain in the butt. So but yeah, you can install multiple versions of Revit on a
Yeah.
machine.
Mhm.
And because Revit's not downsave compatible, that's
Mhm.
why that's handy.
Mhm.
Because like Rena, you were saying you've had clients working in multiple versions.
Mhm.
So, and they want to continue on that way. Because if they don't have 2022, you can't
Correct.
convert their files. So
Yeah.
And the other reason
so-
go ahead. Sorry.
Through your account, you have access to the last 3 versions?
or
Four.
3.
3.
Four.
It's 3
Technically-
and that
Technically
is full
4
support.
plus 2 back.
And the 2 back are without support,
Correct.
and that's for
Correct.
the worst case scenario kind of a deal?
Correct.
Yeah.
But I had multiple versions on my machine because from a reseller standpoint, we have to support clients and they're like, I can't do this in this version. So I would crank that version up and say, show me what you're doing and let me copy you and see if I can do what you're doing and see if it can break and go from there.
And sometimes it's so unique, especially with Revit. Sometimes you'll be doing something and you're like, why isn't this working? Why is it unconstrained? Whatever the issue is, you'll close the file, you'll come back in and it's fine.
It's usually because you didn't
Murphy's
drink
Law.
enough beer before you started making
Ah,
a
all
demo.
right.
That too. With my teammates, it's kind of like, it wasn't working and now you're looking at it and it's working. What's the deal? We're going to do it's my aura.
True.
Yep.
That's all you were lacking. You were just lacking my aura.
Just needed to come. It knew not to mess around when you came on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it knew better.
I keep 18 through 23 on my computer.
Same.
So
Yep, me too.
I'm Civil 3D, I think is 10 gigabytes. So
Yeah.
that's just Civil 3D. So I'm installing on my computer, I'm installing 4 or 5 of Civil 3D.
Mhm.
Then I'm also installing InfoWorks. I'm installing Digital Tracking, installing AutoCAD, Recap.
It used to be, back in the day, you
Sweep.
could get away with a half decent computer, but
Yeah.
with all the Autodesk stuff that we do,
Not anymore.
your primary or secondary hard drive's got to be at least a terabyte or 2 this
Yep.
day and age. At
Yeah.
least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My next computer that I'm specing has to be at least a 2 terabyte primary and a 2 terabyte secondary.
Yeah.
Nice.
just to have.
And that's your bare minimum almost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just to
Yeah,
make sure
yeah.
that you can actually get up in the
Yeah.
morning and have a computer that works.
How much
Yeah.
space does Revit take? You know, off the top of your head.
No, actually, I don't recall, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But it does
Not the
require a
8
lot of space
gigabytes.
to process information.
Yes, that's where
Yeah,
its downside
true.
is. It's probably one of the heaviest for running.
Exactly.
Back-end processing.
So you have to keep on doing stuff like cleaning your temp folders and clearing out old locals, fun stuff like that, clear the cache. Otherwise, a
you know,
stage will
you know what?
you
I
can't
don't.
save
I
and
don't
sync.
actually. Never actually. I don't have to do that on my machine. I have 2 laptops. I have a work one and a personal one. The work one is a year, maybe a year and a half old now. It's an i9 2.8 burst of 5.0
Nice.
processor. It
Nice.
has a 3080 graphics card. It has 2 1 terabyte drives on it, and it's a 17-inch Dell Precision. So and it was like $7,000. And it still
Oh.
runs just fine. It still runs just fine. I never have to do any like back end weird stuff to make it run. I've only had Revit crash twice on it, ever.
I have 2
So-
versions down of the same computer you have, so not as
Cool.
much.
And then,
But I do like the precision. I was
They've
pretty
gotten
happy with it so
better.
far.
They've gotten better, but
Yeah.
they still have weird things. I mean, so the laptop I just described actually was a replacement for the previous one, which was a replacement for the previous one.
They're all over the place.
So, you know, well, no, in the sense of under warranty, because
Oh.
some weird failure.
Oh,
And so
okay.
that's
We all
why.
live weird failures.
Yeah. It's weird. And then I have the other machine I have is an XPS 15, and
Ooh.
that has improved quite a bit too. It's a nice 15-inch, but it looks like it's a 14-inch body, and it's an i9 2.8. It's
Wow.
got the other one has 128 gigs of RAM. This one's got 64, and this one's got a 1 terabyte drive. And I had it for 2 weeks, and I did a Windows update, and it killed the machine. And
This is what
I don't know
I'm
how,
really
I
glad
don't know
you're saying
why, but I did it.
I was looking at one for my child to
Yes.
learn some
I
programming.
ended up having Dell come to the house and replace the motherboard, replace the graphics card.
Ugh.
It didn't work, and then they said you get a
Did a
brand
good
new
job
one.
on it, didn't you?
So I got a brand new one, and this is the one I'm using right now for our discussion tonight. And so far it's good. They've improved. Looking at all the tech that I've bought since the early 80s, and everything's always been Dell or HP and stuff. I bought my son, my older one. You guys are like this. Right before he started college, he's a sophomore in college now. Right before he started college, I bought him the most powerful Razer Blade 14-inch laptop, and it was $2,800. Okay, and it was fully top of line spec, and he's still using it today. And I'm like, so how do you like it? Are there any hiccups, any problems? He's like, it's flawless. He goes, I've never had a single thing wrong with it, not one thing. And I said, you know what? My next machine's going to be a 15 or 17-inch Razer, just because I have
Interesting.
Razer everything. I have keyboards, I have mice. Yeah. So I'm
Razer
gonna
everything.
shift.
Got a Razer Tartarus.
Yeah. No, not that. I wish. No, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Razer mice, different mice. I have
Razer
5 different
Trinity
Razer
Wireless?
keyboards. My son has that one.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just shifting. I'm shifting over the tech to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just
I got
got
an
me a
MSI. Is that what they're called?
yeah, MSIs.
That's another one.
And-
They're pretty robust,
Yeah, but
but they're flaky.
it was the worst out of all of my computers.
So,
Yeah, they're flaky.
well, let me ask you
Wow.
this. So, how
Thanks.
is it performing when you're doing rendering? How's your workstation stuff when you're doing Revit rendering? Or do you have a render farm or a render machine that's rendering some of the stuff?
So I don't.
We use
I mean,
Lumion. We don't render on Revit.
Yeah,
well,
nobody.
our
does it anymore?
our laptops at
That's
the
what we have.
office are for training. The laptop that I have is my primary work laptop. I've used it to render. But and it goes. It just churns and burns, and I can't do anything else with Revit while it's
Yeah.
doing it. But I can do all the other work. I can do my emails and other applications without a problem. I just can't touch Revit until it's done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is noticeably quicker. And then my coworker's got practically the same machine that I do, but he's got the Xeon processors.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, his machine is faster than mine.
Interesting.
Practically the same specs, but he's got the Xeon processor, and he runs circles around me, especially with
You
Civil
get the
3D
lemon
stuff.
computers. I hope you like
No,
lemonade.
well, yeah, I know, right? No, he got his machine like 6 months after me. And it was interesting because he asked me, what did I get? And I said, this is what I got. And he goes, okay, let's compare. Let's get the Xeon one. Because at the time, that was the most powerful thing you can buy. And it was like, just screw it, just buy it. So we made the
next
office buy it.
question is, all right, so how many of you are using Lumion or Twinmotion or Inkscape? Or is there a third one you are using for rendering?
I'm not using anything on
You're not using anything for rendering?
me. No,
Oh,
I'm
wait,
just using
you're-
Revit natively.
Okay.
My
Yep,
company has Lumion and Inkscape.
Yep,
Okay.
same with
Cool.
mine. That's what my team uses too.
Do you guys, which one do you guys prefer? I'm curious.
You're curious. I'm curious too. I don't get to touch that sort of thing.
Girl, what? What? No,
Enscape
that's
is
the
mainly
wrong
for
answer.
walkthroughs.
That's the wrong
Dabble with it.
answer.
But the still renderings are generally Lumion at our end.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Enscape is more walkthroughs and fly-arounds and things like that. And then, of
Okay.
course, we also have the designers who insist on rendering out of SketchUp.
Mhm.
Which,
Wow,
Yes,
really?
but SketchUp has
have-
the Collada set to it, which is very adaptable to online.
yeah, I mean, I just have my own feelings about SketchUp, which are not fit to be shared in public, but
Yeah.
Revit girl here, you know, I mean, like,
So
it's all-
SketchUp has its own rendering
yes, it
engine or
does.
something?
So it connects to Enscape, and it does have
Okay.
like, it's similar to how Revit, no, it's not. But like you can just change your shading and stuff so that you're viewing and
Okay.
rendered. Yeah, but it depends on third-party applications, and Enscape's its biggest supporter, I think, right now.
I see. I've seen some clients who use SketchUp and Lumion to do their renderings and things like that. And when I saw some of their just SketchUp work without even bringing it into Revit or into Lumion, freaking blew my mind. The level
As
of
long as you have good
detail.
materials.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
if
it's
you
just
can get a good
so
seamless.
As long as it
meticulous.
stays in SketchUp. When it
Correct.
crosses the line into Revit, then
Then
it's
yes.
not
Yeah,
fun.
that breaks it.
It
Yep.
breaks it.
Mhm.
Let me ask you
Yep.
this. So if you're doing it in Lumion, Twinmotion, and on Inkscape, do you even bother applying materials on the Revit models? You know, it's like, well, I'm going to override it
It's-
anyway.
It's
a good
always
question.
good to start. It's good to start with Revit.
Because you
Like,
can
with the materials on
actually
Revit?
Martin
Okay.
does.
see seamless images from Revit because they're just a JPEG or whatever, PNG, whatever you want to use. They can transfer over very easily
Mhm.
to even AutoCAD. As
Yeah.
So
long
in
as
other
you're
words,
using the right
in other
format.
words, it's a better starting point than
Mhm.
creating a Revit model with no materials and bringing it into Lumion or whatever.
And Revit has its limitations with like you can't go lower than like 1/32. So that's why it's really hard to do product manufacturing design in it, because if you want a very intricate faucet, you're not going to be able to get all of those great curves.
Mm.
It's not great at
why don't
rendering.
The
okay, so let me
1/32
ask
of an inch rule.
so
Oh my
those
gosh.
those
I
those
dealt with
clients that do this kind of workflow, why don't they go from Revit to 3ds Max to Lumion?
Because
good
that
question.
was not what my employer was
Once.
selling.
I'm just asking
would be-
because 3ds Max is meant to be able to do that high-end level
Manufacturers
of
are very
work.
oblivious to the entire
Correct.
So
world.
why
to
not
be
go from
honest.
Revit to Maya? You go next level.
My thought about 3ds Max is that it's got so much, because it is geared towards the entertainment industry,
Yes.
that it ends up being, intimidating. It's just too much. It's too much being thrown at you.
For the average, person
Exactly.
just trying to get by.
You
Okay.
just want to have a camera flying around your product, and even
And
for
that's
that,
why
it's
Enscape's so
overkill.
beautiful for that, right? It's so easy to do a flyby, to set up your
Exactly.
cameras.
Okay, well then let me throw this quick question out there. Y'all, how many people remember Autodesk Showcase?
Yep. I remember.
Never heard of
So when Autodesk Showcase cranked out, I was just like, well, this is awesome, because you take your Revit model, you open it directly into Showcase, and you can do your fly-throughs and walkthroughs, and you could do your material swaps like lightning fast. And it was really easy. And creating storyboards and motion. I was just like, why did you guys shelve this? They didn't get rid of it. They shelved it. And to this day, it's still shelved. It's not, they didn't kill it. It's still shelved. I didn't know if you guys knew this, but
No.
mhm.
And I know
2017
with
was the last version.
I know with Enscape and Revit, you can actually set it up as an interactive tool. So you can have links and
That's what I heard
videos
too.
playing within your Enscape realm. And it's quite interesting. But like, what did COVID do for us? At least enhanced our VR.
Yes, it did.
People were bored.
Those that can use it without getting spatially disoriented. I remember my first experience with that was at Autodesk University back in 2009. We were in the exhibition floor, and there's a guy. He had a headset on. I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, this is called VR. You got to check this out." And you watch on the screen, and what he's doing, he's standing on the edge of a balcony with a railing, and he's looking down, and it's just this massive drop. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And he's just try it. So I put it on. I swear to God, I almost like lost it. I almost like fell, like literally, like I was gonna
It's so
die.
real.
It was so
It is.
weird.
Wow.
Now,
My-
not so bad, but
Yeah. My
So-
first experience with VR was like a zombie apocalypse game.
oh
That
geez,
was not the place to start. Just
No,
I heard it's like Resident Evil is really good in VR.
nice.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
it would be so scary.
I'm like, whoa.
no. This year at Ireland, I was at the BIM Coordinator Summit,
Yeah,
and
you know, I
one
don't
of the
like you.
events-
You went to Ireland. Shut up.
I'm going next
sorry,
year
I'm sorry.
to
I was so
Ireland
jealous
for
of that.
vacation.
God, I
it
hate you.
happens.
And you
But
did
you
not
know-
bring us back an Irish. You know, I'm not happy with you.
Me too. Well, I can't Irish dance right now. I don't have my shoes on. So yeah, one of the vendors, they put their headset on me, and I'm riding in a speeding train, and suddenly the train disappears. The damn train just disappears, and
Ooh.
I'm going at 300 miles an hour. It was not good.
Oh wow.
It was not good at all.
Wow.
Just like, oh my gosh.
It's funny. I can see you just like falling off
Yeah.
the chair.
Yep.
Well,
Oh.
we took mine on vacation because we knew that we were going to have a rainy day, and we went to DC. And so the day it was raining, we got it out, and I had my husband go through the first steps of things like picking up things and moving and how to move with the hands and stuff. And then I went to put him on a roller coaster. So the first thing I did was sit him down in a chair. And he doesn't like roller coasters, period. And he's got fears of heights. I sat and watched for 7 minutes and recorded it. And watched him. He'd be going,
You're evil. You're evil.
oh, that was a big one. I was losing it. Yep. And then recently one of his daughters is here, and she got to watch it too.
You should try it with boxing. I did it with a boxing game. So you actually had the controllers in your hands. You had the headset on, and my buddy's like, okay, just touch the wall, touch the board, pick the ring and everything. I did all that, and I get in there, and there's this guy, and I gotta fight him, and I'm like, I'm actually like going at it, and you sit there and you're like, this is like exercise. It's like
Yeah.
exercise.
What a
I wasn't
concept.
I wasn't expecting it, and I was just like, no, seriously. He's like, no, you actually have to like beat him. I'm like, I thought this was just for fun. He's like, no, you actually have to beat them in the match. I'm like, crap. Okay, so there I am. I'm trying to take this guy out, and after like 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, man, I'm tired. I gotta stop.
Can't he just go away?
It's a trip.
Well,
But
at
it's
least when
neat.
he hits you back, you don't feel it.
You get a vibration in the hands.
Yeah.
That's about it. Now, if the headset had vibration functionality and he hits you
That
in the
would be-
head, that would be cool.
Well, you can.
Did we just come up with something, guys?
Well,
Yes, we did. Shh, I'm patenting
think
it.
we
I'm
did.
just
yeah, I'm patting it. Hold on.
Collaborate.
Christina.
Collaborate.
The napkin
Five of
right
us.
here.
Isn't a patent $5,000? I think we could get this covered, guys.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, you think you ever get to the level of the movie like Ready Player One, where it's a headset?
Oh my God, that would be
and you
so
got the
awesome.
Suit. Oh my
That would
God.
be
Love
so.
that.
Yeah,
So
I don't think
wicked.
nobody would
Yeah.
leave their house. Honestly, people would be.
That's what they
living
did.
their
That
They
was
didn't leave their house.
That was a
They stayed
kick-ass
in their
movie
pods.
too.
Yeah,
That was a
Yeah.
kick-ass movie too. By
I
the
love
way.
that movie.
Damn, that was amazing.
I was
So
like,
Oh,
many
what
underrated
about the
movies.
other movie that came out?
you're talking about Surrogates with
No,
Bruce
no,
Willis.
no,
where they're
no,
in the
no, no.
pods.
There was a movie that was the Boss Level. Boss Level.
Oh,
Did you guys see that
oh,
movie? Holy crap! I
No.
could like for the first 15 minutes, I was like, "What the hell is this movie about? What's going on?"
Yeah, yeah.
Well, have y'all
And then
watched was it the Peripherals?
Periphery.
Not yet. No,
Never heard of it.
it's new
There's
on.
one of the girls on my team that
Prime
is
or something. Netflix.
Prime, I think, but there's a girl on my team and she's raving about it.
The peripherals.
Yep.
It's like the alternate
make a note.
dimension
Mhm.
reality
Uh-huh.
kind of thing. So like they can go back in time, I think. I haven't seen it. I'm going to shut up. I watched the
Okay.
commercial. I think that's
So-
what I got out of it.
I think it was last year I watched somebody mix VR and AR and so they're walking in this model of a house. They open a door and they're in Paris. Boom.
Mm.
Now they're in kind of an AR technology.
I
And then
can
they
handle
walk
that.
back to another door and they're back in the model, in the 3D model. Okay. And they open another door and now they're in like Moscow. You know, like
That's
in the
cool.
street, and they're running around in the street and they walk into another door and they're back into the same model of the house. Like, how are they doing that?
Wow.
Well, that's pretty amazing. Another one I saw that was pretty
Yeah.
unique for architects was they put the headset on, they're in a 3D model, and they're touching the wall, and then based on the touch, they can change the material and the color.
Correct. There's like a palette. And
Yeah,
you can pick
and
a
just-
material palette in
And
the
then
air.
the tables,
and
I'm like,
touch
okay,
the-
that'd
yes.
be addictive for the developer because he'll
Yes.
never take this headset off. He'll be changing the whole time,
Yeah.
changing the
That's
design.
cool.
But I thought that was pretty cool. Like, okay, I can just change the color. Okay, I like that color. Okay, color. So, but I thought that was pretty amazing, be able to do it inside the VR model and just changing materials and stuff. So, but that was probably the coolest thing I saw. But anybody doing?
Well, I got into the
ahead.
wild here just a little bit this week because they're talking about us having a meeting on it next week, and I thought that was kind of cool. But I mean, being able to go in there and measure and stuff in the model, and
Mhm. Yep.
and being able to go around it and zoom yourself to it and stuff. It was
Yeah.
it was really interesting. I want to get in there and play with it some more. But
Yeah.
they want to make
Mhm.
us the expert because they're putting it out to the company.
Each person's
So,
little
in the
avatar,
meantime-
you can see each other, and but you can
Yeah.
you can zoom in, you can see it and measure, and you know it's a pretty cool.
They say it's really weird. They say you think people being in your personal space in the office is weird. Wait till you're in virtual space and they walk through you. They say it's very weird.
Mm.
Just like,
Interesting. Ghost.
Ghost, yeah.
Yes.
Patrick Swayze, sure, bring it on.
Oh my
You're
god,
funny,
that's
Doug.
funny. That's funny. I mean, I had the account for 2 years, but it was just too expensive for storage. They were charging way too much for storage. These files are not small, right? You know, they were pretty in the gigs when I was uploading these files from these other applications, and like they wanted so much money. At some point, it was like almost $300 to $500 per month. Like what?
Jeez.
Like no,
Just to store a file that you already have on your computer.
exactly. Yes, yeah. I'm just uploading to there.
You
that way I
know,
can access
hey,
it
don't
through their
hate the
platform.
player, hate the game.
That's very true. They had a
Yeah.
monopoly at that.
You know?
But it was cool. It was a cool application. I told him like, I love the application, but it's just too much money, So it's kind of like TestFit. TestFit's amazing software, but 5,000 a month or 5,000 a year.
Wow.
It's a lot to me. One application versus Autodesk's suite is not even 5,000.
Mm.
No.
That's 10 license, 10 10 software. So, yeah, I have a strong feeling that application is going to be so good, Autodesk is going to acquire it in no time. I guarantee it. So
They have been throwing a lot of money out to third-party
just
applications.
got
So,
$20 million in funding
oh,
Mm.
Yeah. just a few weeks ago, and they're local here in Dallas. I talked to them when they first started up, and I was like, oh, where was this software? Because I do a lot of layouts for like multifamily development. So I had to got to figure out, they'll tell me the ratio of units, how many square footage for the units, how many floors, but then I got to work out the zoning parking. If they tie hand in hand, they go, oh, I need 250 units. Like it's not possible based on the number of units per, I need three cars per unit based on the square footage. I was like, you don't have enough parking. So I got to play around with the size and stuff. And you got to keep redrawing that and redrawing that.
my.
And then they'll come back, oh, I took out 20 feet off the building. Like, what do you mean you took out 20 feet? Now I got to So, but TestFit does it all automated, and it's pretty cool. I'm like, it's great.
That's the one where you just like, you pop it into the area
Mhm,
and then it
mhm.
realigns
And then
the,
it shows the floors and the units. You can time the ratio of units and open space, and then you can move the building. And then it does parking too, but most of them are cookie cutter parking lot. But
Yeah.
the floor plans layout is pretty cool because you can there's a slider, you can move around the floor plans and just moving the slider.
That's
You know,
yeah.
it's
I
pretty
saw,
amazing.
I was in a presentation when somebody was showing it, and I completely forgot about it because it was.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's if you do multifamily, and I'm going to get it eventually. So I deal with a lot of multifamily developers, and they're trying to figure out to maximize their units per on the square footage of their acreage of their property. I just got to work out the parking situation, the number of units they want, and to tell
You're
them that
very
it's not
generous with
possible.
your parking. 3
Mhm.
per.
Yeah.
In Canada, you're lucky if you get 1.
Really? I mean, some states, like some cities, it's 3. Let's say it's usually 1.5 per bedroom parking. But in
Interesting.
some places it's 1 to 1. So you've got 2 bed, 2 bath. In other places it's 3 cars per 2 bedrooms. That's when the parking gets really heavy. You got 3.
Wow.
They do 1 for each bathroom plus 1 guest parking.
So
So
let me ask you this, Tony. In Revit, we have generative design functionality where you tell it to give it specific conditions for the design and let it figure out all the multiple iterations.
Yeah.
So you could do like layouts of multifamily buildings and
like
whatnot.
the rooms or the layouts of the
the rooms
building?
and stuff. So you can probably rooms and buildings.
Okay.
But you can probably use it to do parking stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of figuring it out.
Mhm.
Do you know if Civil 3D has the generative design functionality in it? Because I'm not in Civil 3D
Not
to
yet.
do the
Doesn't
stuff
sound
you're
like it.
doing.
Well, they have the vehicle parking, but it's not generative
Yeah,
design.
but that's
You're
not
laying it
no.
out. But then they do have something in the works. Yeah. They
Okay.
just said, on the beta that I've tested, they talked about it a long time ago.
I was just thinking it would make a lot of sense that if
Yeah,
you can use generative design to come
Yep.
up with multiple building room layouts and parking layouts in Revit,
Yep.
why can't you do that for civil?
Since our NDA
Or marry
I
the
can't
vehicle
talk about
tracking.
it.
Oh, no, I understand.
Yeah.
But I like the stuff that I saw in vehicle tracking with parking. That's pretty cool. And I was like, well, duh, why can't you just use generative design to do that for you?
So the best one is Site Designer from Bentley. It does it for you. You draw a
Okay.
square of your property and you type and you draw your building square footage, and then boom, the parking shows up, and you can move a slider and then you can see the parking just automatically redraw itself.
And but that's not the same site designer as Equal Point Site Designer for Revit that was
No.
acquired. Okay,
No.
just
Mm-mm.
checking.
Now this one's Bentley, and I've used it. It's pretty amazing. I'm like, oh wow.
Cool.
Now InfoWorks has something kind of like it, but it's not dynamic as the Site Designer. It used to be called Site Ups.
Yeah, I heard of that.
So they rebranded called, I think, Site Designer now. So, but it's pretty cool. Okay, I used it because I want to cut down on my design time. So I was able to, roll out a 400 lot subdivision in a matter of like an hour. So,
Nice.
Wow.
just, yeah.
If that's not a
Work smarter.
Yeah, that's if you
Right.
know the product, your experience with you a beginner would be struggling for a whole day, but if you really know it, got a little you build templates based on the type of subdivision, and you're just drawing the road. Next, lots start popping up, and then you can do a quick profile, So the Open Site Designer has some major advantages
Cool.
to it, and then you push it out to AutoCAD and then go from there. So, and they had some grading tools, but the Open Site Designer is pretty amazing. I know Civil 3D is trying to create something kind of like it, so. But check it out, because on the test fit, I'm talking about the test fit, that has a developer mode and an architectural mode, different versions and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that product and stuff. So, for the home builders, I've been trying to tell home builders, like, hey, if Revit is too much for you, too difficult to learn, try Modumate. It's very easy, user friendly. It has actual real materials. So when you just draw a rectangle and you put a door, you can drag and drop the door, and it has a material, but it's not an image. It's actually a material thickness applied to that actual object, like a window, a carpet. It's not an image. It's actually, you can see the thickness of that material. Even a wall section, you can see the material thicknesses and stuff. But Modumate is pretty cool. And they raised their rates. Now it's like $80 a month, but I played around with it. If you're an experienced architect, you can probably have a lot of fun with it. So I consider that very similar to like SketchUp and InfoWorks, very user friendly, not a lot of buttons, and you can push it to AutoCAD. I think you can push it to VR too. And all they have is huge material style list. You're dragging and dropping based on a wall, and you just drag and drop the material on the wall, the foundation. You can slide in a window, and it has different windows. So I would definitely tell people to just play around with it. So custom, especially if you're custom home builders.
Can we do go around the room and what add-ons do you have
Okay.
in Revit?
Oh.
Right. PyRevit, can't do without that.
Oh, I love
Love PyRevit.
it.
And CTC tools, we have them, we paid for them. I haven't used them as much as I use PyRevit or as much as I use Imaginate Utilities.
Mhm.
And yeah, BIM interoperability tools.
Okay.
Mhm.
I don't use
Wait.
any. As a reseller, I don't use any because they don't want to spend the
Yeah.
money on any of it, so we can experiment. And it's kind of,
PyRevit's
I
free.
understand, I understand why, but it from a standpoint of supporting the clients, I understand we're not a reseller for an add-on program to support that part.
Right.
Yeah.
But we are Autodesk supporters, so that's why I don't have any add-ons. I mean, unless you get an add-in that makes more money for me or puts money to my account somehow, then I might buy it.
But what about something like PyRevit, for instance? Because on directly, a lot of times, when I am answering a customer ticket, if it's something that can be done by PyRevit, I do suggest that to them. That if you have it, then that will just make your life so much easier.
I see. I see.
An
No,
incentive.
I don't know any of the add-ons that are out there on the market. I mean, and I haven't used
I've
any
got
of them.
some-
So it's kind of
I've
like
got
I'm
so many.
stuck.
I don't know what all mine do because I haven't gotten into it. But I know. I'm months into the job. But we've got Enscape.
Mhm.
What's this one called? Issues. I don't know what that is. The BIM interoperability tools, the CTC software, Datasmith, Lumion. We have some of our own. It's under the Nelson name. We have PyRevit, Parallax, V-Ray,
You got
and
'em
let's see
all.
what's under the.
Sounds like
Wow.
it.
Oh, okay.
You've got a bunch of them.
Format Converter, Guardian. I like Guardian.
Well, I guess you have
and-
homework, Donnie. I expect you to go through
I
every
know.
single one and give us the top 3.
Yeah.
And we need a tutorial.
a
We need a
reported
2-hour
triplicate.
tutorial. Yes, we need
Have
a
any of y'all
live
tried the
2-hour
Guardian?
tutorial.
Yeah,
No.
really. The Guardian is something that we've got one of the girls that I work with, that's her rock. My rock is the Parallax templates. Another one's rock is Hive. And what we call it our rock garden out here. And
How do you
yeah,
guys like Hive?
I love it, but I've been using it for years.
And
There
what's
the
its
girl that's
purpose? I haven't heard.
oh, it's a library. It's a library sourcing. It's a cloud library.
Okay.
content management.
Yeah, they don't. At my old job, we use tags religiously, and then we use some libraries. Here, they only use libraries, but they've got it worked down. But that's an easier way to do some permissions for some of the company. They're not getting into the Parallax yet. Some aren't getting into the Bank of America or whatever customer it is and stuff. But with Guardian, you can set something up. So if somebody goes to load a family from outside of Hive, it comes up with a warning. You should be using Hive.
Hmm.
That would be annoying. I don't need things telling me what to do.
You
That's
can determine how
safeguarding your market
often
share.
they you can
It's a good
determine how
screening
often they
system.
see it. You can determine that, but it also gives us reports. Like if somebody's doing hide and view a lot, it gives us reports so we can start talking with them going, maybe you're not understanding filters for your views. Is there some reason that you feel like this is the best tool for you? Or do you think it's the only tool for you is what it comes out to be a lot. But I'm totally enamored. I had some details I had to bring in from AutoCAD. And so the first thing I would do is scrub them. I went in and mapped the layer name to a line in Revit and basically was able to tell those lines and some layers and stuff. You're going to go to this now.
Yep.
And move things over. I transferred a lot of text to the text style that we wanted.
That's cool.
I was able to, I was able to do a lot of stuff with it, but I can
what
set it
program
up
was
and then
that
I
one?
can run it. Guardian.
Okay.
But they're setting up rules for things that if you go to delete something, it pauses you to make you think twice before you delete an a reference file or something. You can tell I've been playing in AutoCAD today too. I'm mixing my verbiage. But yeah, it's got some amazing stuff in it that we can set up, and we're setting it up to use on the parallax template. I don't know if you've seen the parallax template. It's one that they call it. You remove things from it instead of adding things to it. It comes with 50 stories. And you go in and say, no, I'm only going to need 10 or 5. And I need how many below and how many above. And it comes preset with all these scope boxes. And you can tell I'm only going to, it's got like 9 areas laid out. And so that you've already got your match lines and stuff set up. And they've already got the views, the dependent views are all set up for all the different areas for every floor, and the scope boxes and the view templates and everything. And it's amazing. And their doors, I'm like, somebody said they needed a door that had a different panel in it. And I'm like, I had watched a video on the doors like the first week I was here. And I'm like, oh, I can do a door. I can put another panel in it. And I open up the family, start messing with it. I'm like, this is ridiculously hard. And then I went back and watched the videos, and all I had to do was go into the schedule and go, nope, you're this panel now. Boom. It changes the family out and everything. And then looking at the family itself, I couldn't see how it was done completely like that. And I know families. But they've got such a good, they've got all these different frames and stuff. You pick your frame, you pick your door style, and put them together, and boom, go.
It kind of sounds like
Same with
opening
Windows.
studio. As Loy has got opening studio, what you described kind of sounds like opening studio.
It's also a subtractive template.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they call it, subtractive template. So they give you, I mean, the thing is huge. You can only imagine how big it is. 600 sheets or something.
Wow.
I don't know. And everything's all set up for you. And then you go and decide what you want. And when you say, I don't want, 30 floors above, it automatically takes off the sheets, the views, scope boxes, and everything from those. So I'm getting a little overwhelmed at times with it, but I'm having a blast because I can get in there and learning all this new stuff and how they're doing it. But that's probably the 2 biggest things that I've been working on learning is the Guardian and the Parallax. And did you all know Aaron Mahler?
Yes, very well.
Yeah, that's his stuff is Parallax.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like I've known of him. We've been together. We've never really, we've never sat and had beer together, type of thing. But yeah, we both knew who each other were and stuff. So yeah, it's his stuff.
So Christina, what third-party applications do you have at your office?
I really like Revit. That's my main one. Dynamo, which is not technically third party anymore because it comes pre-installed. And Enscape. But those were just kind of what was needed for the jobs that I was doing. But I've been looking into a lot more of the tools to like clean up, like you get files from clients that are a mess and, your notes are still good, but they're just not aligned, or their text style is like, Times New Roman still. You're just like, okay. I think I
feel your pain.
Those days.
That's like nightmare.
So I've been investigating a lot of tools that are going to help make just like upgrading people's content a little easier. Because work smarter, not harder, sort of thing.
I'm big on that.
Yeah.
So is
if
there
anybody has any tips on those?
There's a tool that just goes through all your Revit models and sheets and say, hey, make sure all texts are this height and this font.
Well, you can set that up in Dynamo
Okay.
as well. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's based on like the file as well. You still need to set it up for each type.
Mm.
So, and its location. So sometimes it's just easier to have like a tag alignment tool and you just
Yeah.
select all the text and it just aligns it for you and you
Yeah.
move on.
Well, in this Guardian, you can go through and pick styles, and there's a thing where you can tell it to replace, and then you pick what you want to replace it with, and you can save that setting and
That's
run
why
this
I was very
again.
curious when you were saying all that other stuff. So I'm going to look into that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to cover a few of the small tasks that I would just like to
Right.
automate.
Exactly. In Revit, have you checked out their pre-flight checks?
No, I haven't.
Please
Pre-flight
do.
checks.
Okay.
Please do. The
Okay.
top option, whose name I do not remember, it gives you a graphical representation of all the good, bad, and ugly in your model. It's a thing of
All
So
beauty.
right.
it's almost a model, like you can get, does it tell you not like the health of your model, but like, does it kind
How
of gives you
many
an overview?
imports you have, and how many
That's pretty
families
cool.
you got, and how many sheeted and unsheeted views. And it's all, pretty pictures and bright colors, and it's wonderful.
If I didn't love
running it
Pyrite
now.
already, it'd be,
It sounds
I
a
love
lot
that
like what
program.
Inventor would do with an assembly and kind of pre-flight check your machine and things like that too.
The graphics that it churns out are kind of like what you would see with the Power by dashboard.
okay.
Yep.
And another thing I love about Pyrevit, and I always bring it up because I feel not a lot of people use it, is that you can create the hatch patterns in it.
Cool.
Can't do without it.
Mhm.
You
That probably
cannot,
alone
like
is
life
worth
doesn't
it.
exist
It's
before
free. Who needs
Pyrevit.
HatchKit?
The things that
Many
I've
hatch
created, I
patterns,
think
too
like,
many hatch patterns.
yeah, like 3,500 hatch patterns
Stop,
to date in that
see?
What?
system. And I
I
Some
bet
of the
you there's
best.
I bet you there's one hatch pattern you still don't have.
which one?
There's one that people keep asking me, and I'm like, I have no idea how to do it, but you got to go figure it out. Somebody wanted me to come up with a Revit hatch pattern that showed the symbol of Mickey Mouse ears and the face,
Oh,
and use that a repetitive pattern to put it on a wall.
Possible.
do for a
It's possible.
client
The
that
Pyrevit
did
is possible.
It
you
was
know
just
those
for
like
experimentation.
textured tiles
Yes.
that some clients, so you can make a hatch that's too complex for AutoCAD. So I did it through the image hatch.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, so there, but I didn't do it through image. I created a block and it utilized that instead. So I was able to get a very complex. I'm like, generally we wouldn't do this, especially circles. Don't even try a circle in AutoCAD hatch patterns.
Right.
But I was able to use, I can't even remember the name of it. I got to get my AutoCAD open to.
100. Wow. 3,500.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
if it's
crazy.
any consolation, I think the last time I counted, I was up to 80, let's say 8,000 windows and doors.
Good God.
Again, working for a content aggregator, I'd have to do a manufacturer's entire collection, and they have series.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
And I actually started as windows and doors.
And-
And I was the original creator of the Kone elevators. And I actually hated that because they didn't listen. And those ended up being some like the worst models I've ever created, just because they would not accept that you do not need your logo perfectly modeled on every floor and every object everywhere. And you didn't need numbers on your buttons. It was just, sometimes you get those clients that don't understand what the technology is for. And
over modeling.
That's it.
yeah, I actually made them sign an agreement that I disagreed with the modeling that I was doing, and that they acknowledged that. So when people complained from the industry, I was like, my hands are clean here. I built what you asked for.
Exactly. The pet peeve that I've heard from a lot of content creators is when they are asked to, model elements that are, 1 millimeter in size, and you've got the plastic wrap that needs to be modeled too. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
That's
Some
not-
people just,
that's not
again,
what
don't
Revit is for.
understand.
That's crazy. Now, I was just talking to one of our user group online today, and we had a discussion about just line types, a simple discussion about line types. And one of our members, I thought I had a lot with like 500 line types.
Good
No,
God.
he had 1,600 line types. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
That's overkill.
And I'm like,
Why
wow.
would you need so many line types?
Oh, that was pretty impressive. That I guess he built it up over the years, and so I only started collecting mine since like maybe 2012, but I guess he's done it much longer. He started when he first started, but 1,600 different line types.
Wow.
Oh my.
So I was like,
Wow.
that's
You know,
impressive.
that
You're
I
only
s-
making a nightmare for
impressive.
yourself.
You're just
Well, no,
rolling, looking
okay.
at the-
So let's look at the silver lining of that. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just pretend, Tony, that you upped him one and you had 2,500 custom line types, right? Let's just say hypothetically. What you do is you just market that as saying Tony's line types, and you say $10.
$10.
And then I can guarantee you, every freaking person that needs that many.
Well,
they're just
no,
gonna
there's
buy it.
actually a website where they just, I think it's like free blocks or free something, and then they just have hundreds of line types, hundreds of CAD blocks,
Okay.
tree symbols. There's like 3 or 4 websites that just give away crap loads for free. I mean, just landscape blocks, car vehicles,
Yeah.
doors and windows and line types and hatching, for
Mhm.
free. And I'll go and grab some, but I was kind of cautious to make sure I do a scan before I install
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
A buyer
And I
scan.
do wish that there was
Wow.
more uniformed appreciation for development. Like,
Yeah.
somebody will just create something and put it out there and it's just garbage. Like you're not considering the users, the application, you're just creating content to create content. And I
Yeah.
wish, there was more respect for the development process, but
So that's
Hey, I
what,
just ran that pre-flight check on my project.
Mhm.
You interested in seeing what it does? I can't share my screen.
well, we can always.
Tony's
Yeah,
not
now I
letting
turned
you.
it off. You can't- Since we were
Well, I
like,
understand why you turned it off.
scammers.
Yeah,
We had so many scammers jumping on at one time, so it was really weird.
Yeah.
that last graphic
Yeah.
image was getting.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
disrespectful.
So I think I took out some of the levels. I think I'm down to about 10 levels here. And like I said, this would be a huge file. So it comes through and here's all the instance file names. So these are all our reference files. And of course, they're just placeholders. 18 links. None of them are pinned. I'm against that. This is how many views we have, and this is how many views that are not on sheets.
Oh.
Good God.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
very
have pared
cool.
this one down. I have pared this one down. So this
You
isn't
have
the
people
big.
you need to beat. for
No,
Oh
this
my
is the
God.
parallax thing. This is the parallax thing, and it really is amazing when you get into it. We have 102 view templates, 24 of them are unused. 296 schedules, and 15 of them are on sheets. 141 sheets. Like I said, I've pared this one down. I deleted a lot of sheets. I'm trying to build a sheet, a thing that in Dino to put the right number on my sheets in a schedule.
Mhm.
I have 1 warning and 0 critical warnings. I'm impressed.
That's
Considering I
awesome.
know.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Way to go.
Yeah, I didn't build this, but this is the parallax template. 345 materials, 35 line patterns, 13
No
linked.
imports.
Wow.
No
imports.
imported DWGs.
Way to go.
I hate imported. No offense, AutoCAD to Revit. It's
I'm
just
not
the-
impressed.
Yeah,
because I'm
no.
not
This is
doing-
a
I don't even
constant
attempt it
battle.
anymore.
It's just a
Pretty-
constant battle
Yeah.
with my team members. Don't
You can never
import
clean
them,
it
please
out.
don't.
Even if you delete it and purge, you can't even.
I like
really-
that 0 ramps.
Dynamo. Use Dynamo for
Yeah.
that.
Zero
Zero
ramps.
ramps.
0 ounce. Yeah, I think it's no name reference planes. That's my pet peeve right there.
Oh.
Somebody, guys.
And let's
Somebody
see.
needs to
That's
get
part of a
skinned.
topic I got coming up, actually. That's
Wow.
hate
It's
that.
something I preach in my Revit families. If you're doing a topic on it, go back and review the one, the Revit family one that I did with reference planes, because it tells you about the front and the back of the reference plane and how to use it.
Interesting. I will
This
look
is
at that
how-
out. Yeah. Just
These
makes
are
for
all
a better
the element
conversation.
counts.
That's pretty cool. I think it did-
That is cool.
breaks it
Yeah.
down.
Let me see if I can get him.
yeah. How many
Yeah, we
elements?
still can't read those.
That's a
It-
lot. Category.
It goes over a lot of it.
98,000 elements.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, this one has been pared down. I've cut sheets out of it and
Do you still
levels
have
out
the
of it and
original
stuff.
template? You should compare them and see when you have to do a
Yeah.
project analysis.
Mhm.
You can use this to compare that for a
Well,
summary.
it takes a hot minute to open up.
Oh, you don't have to
well,
do it
let's
for us, but
No, but it does. It takes a hot minute to do this. I'm curious about how many sheets we have in here.
Yeah. I just don't want your computer to crash if you've been having such bad luck this evening.
Nah, I'm also on a
Oh, yeah,
virtual
this is being
machine.
recorded too. You know that, right, sweetie? Shake
No,
and bake.
I'm pretty impressed.
Shake and
This
bake.
stuff is, yeah. The Parallax template is. I mean, I've drank the Kool-Aid, I guess, but I've been very impressed considering how many templates I have built in the past to see this one the way it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, it takes a hot minute to open, but
And you
All right,
said you're
let's get
opening
some
it on a
wine and some beer
VPN as
open.
well?
Get going.
yeah, I'm on a virtual template here, on a
Yeah,
virtual
so
machine here. Yeah,
that
I
adds
stopped
3
sharing.
times the amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the virtual machine because I can pop open the iPad Pro that I also got and
Wow.
be at the doctor's office and fixing a Revit problem on an iPad.
Interesting.
Yep.
I did do it on at 70 miles an hour. My husband was driving, but
Donna, I think you have way too much time on your hands.
Exactly.
This is why none of us
we
can keep
need
up
to
with
find
Revit.
you stuff to keep you busy.
I'm sorry, we cannot compete with you. We can't keep up with you.
well,
No.
see, I can't.
You win.
I can be.
You win.
I can be working while I'm away because I've got this iPad I can take with me. My boss has stuff with his kids. He goes to their baseball fields and he's sitting there working on an iPad, and we're still kind
Wow.
of being at work. We don't have to take time off for these things.
Exactly. I have my
And
virtual machine on my tablet, and it's through Shadow, and I pay $30 a month. And this virtual machine is a gaming rig, and the internet through that gaming rig is actually 1 gigabyte download speeds, while my tablet's probably only like 50 megabyte downloads. Just not even using the internet. It's not, so I could actually run it even on my phone. So I actually tried it. I actually ran the actual Civil 3D and stuff through my phone because it's not using none of the resources. It's using my gaming rig virtual machine. It's like, and then it's super fast speeds for $30 a month. Like, yeah, I'll use it. So,
yeah, ours is
Shadow.
WorkSpot. Yeah, ours is WorkSpot. It's more than that. I don't know how much it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, they have another like business class version, which is even more expensive, but I think it's like $100 a month. But that's where I put all my beta software is on the virtual machine, and then I can test it, run it, try to break it. So but yeah, speaking of workstations, I don't know if y'all have seen this, but I mean, I want this so bad. I've been trying to stop myself from getting it. Yeah, I'll put it on the chat if y'all want to open it up on y'all's own little computer. But the ZenBook dual screen laptop.
Oh, I've heard of those.
What?
Yeah.
I love this laptop.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks pretty tight.
And I just wish they made a 17-inch version because I'm more of a bigger screen. I hate small little laptops. But if they made a 17-inch, I'd be all over. I would have had it already. So
now
Give it
you can
time.
split it, or you can actually run it across both screens, the application. So
Okay. Have you seen one that has the screen that pulls out?
yeah.
Or is that an add-on?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Up. It folds in half, and there's 2 screens on it. It comes up another one.
Wow.
So
Wow.
but I figured that one it's not going to last.
Tony, you
long.
have
That
too
can
many
get
toys.
it's
You
small.
cannot have it. You cannot.
I know
have
I'm jealous of his mice.
Yeah, you have too many toys.
Too many
Yes.
toys.
I'm not happy
No,
with
it's
you right now,
not
Tony.
too many.
Well,
I don't even have a personal machine.
You could give us some gifts once in a while.
I do.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
I have yet
We're
to
just
see a
not-
gift come to my
Ask
house.
my users. They've
Whatever.
got a Microsoft
Yeah.
Yeti. I gave that out. A gaming headset that was like $150. A gaming mouse that was like $150. A custom gaming mouse that I built in my company colors. And then next month is a laptop. So
You have 4 users here that need laptops.
Really?
and then
I
last
don't
year
even
I
have
gave
a
out-
got
laptop.
most of those, didn't he?
What's that?
Sid got half of those gifts so far.
And then last year I gave
We're
out
competing with that
$500
guy.
in gift cards.
know.
During Christmas, our Christmas rewards. I gave out $500. Then I gave out a bunch of gift cards throughout the year for our users. So yeah, on the platform, I've been giving out a lot of stuff. So I kind of reward my
Yeah,
users.
I can't argue. I did get an Amazon gift
Yeah.
card.
Do you guys
God,
see
you
this right here?
See,
Oh my. And it was down to
6,000 sheets.
Are you
1,800?
serious?
Why in the
I
world
told
do you
you it
have
was
6,000 sheets?
Like, who
Well-
had the time to do?
Why do you
Who's
even
got the
have to
Aaron
have
Muller.
them? I mean, what kind of projects are you doing that require 6,000 sheet sets?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. The biggest
Empire
set I
State
ever did
Building?
was 1,000 sheets.
I would rather
It's-
put
the
that
biggest-
model up.
I'm being honest. The biggest
Yeah.
project I ever did was
300,000?
no, the biggest
Elements.
That's just the elements.
the biggest real life project I ever had to do was 1,000 sheets, and we thought
That's
that was
still a lot.
insane.
Yeah.
Is that like a
Okay.
building in Dubai?
No, that
When the-
that was Piedmont Hospital.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that says a lot. Yeah, but see, when you've got the areas for each one built into it and stuff, so it's it's kind of big.
That's
Okay, so I have a
crazy.
question.
Kinda.
When you have something that big, are you
Mhm.
printing straight from Revit to the plotter, or are you printing from Revit straight to a PDF, then to the plotter?
PDF.
Okay.
We do
Usually
PDFs.
PDF.
Yeah,
It's
that's why
faster.
we do it here. You know, we noticed the big.
I'm not
thing.
even sure they do anything with a plotter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll be-
sometimes the companies go directly to they send the digital PDF files to the
Yeah.
Yeah.
printing company.
My
Yeah.
current company, they're all, and last company was all digital.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm a resell. Where I work, we're an Autodesk reseller, but he's also it's a full printing production, company as well on the first floor. So we get all the digitals from the AEC industry, and they're printing all the time. So
Do you ship them also?
yep,
Print and ship? Okay.
Oh,
everything.
that's a lot.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know
Everything
if y'all-
from 3.5-inch by 5-inch postcards all the way up to full spec books to full sets. And
of-
what was the
Wow.
last time we did a project? Last time I saw them do a massive job, it was for a client, and it was 500 sheet set. They needed 30 sets full printed, 30 half sizes, and 30 spec books printed, and that was just within a 2-hour window they needed to get it done.
Oh yeah, that's probably an easy $2,000 to $5,000 cost right there.
That was a lot more than that. We
Oh
charged them
really?
a lot more
Wow.
than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably, I can honestly say that was somewhere around a $15,000 job.
Yeah, that's about right. Because I did one engineering / architectural set of plans plus spec books plus half size set. That was $2,000. So it freaked out the developer, like, oh yeah, we got to reprint it again. Yeah.
Oh God, the reprint it. Oh,
So you spent $4,000 on printing.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all remember back in the days in the 90s, we had to print several sets. Engineering, we had to spend 36 sets in the city of San Antonio. Hard sets. We're going here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
That's-
remember those days.
The
We had to do that.
logs. We used to
Yeah.
call them
I
the
was
log
the only
rolls,
one
yeah.
who could fix the printer.
Yeah.
And listen to this. So I got one time I threw a big fit. I went down to the city of San Antonio. I had all these set of plans and I was missing one sheet. I was missing 11 by 17 sheet out of the set. I had several of them, but there was one sheet missing. I was short one. They're like, wait, we're not going to accept the package submittal. I'm like, what do you mean? Can you make a copy? There's a printer right there. No, we're not going to let you use our printer. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to leave this building, go look for a printer company to 11 by 17 when you got a printer right there where you can just scan it and print it. No, she forced me to leave. And she goes, no, you go print somewhere else, And so
Wow.
I filed a report against that person. But yeah, I had to go to Kinko's to scan an 11 by 17 sheet and come back. They was going to reject it because of one sheet of a whole set of plans.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
was
The
so
days
mad.
of Kinko's. Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to go to Kinko's. I
Oh,
paid I think
Those
I
were the
paid
days.
$2.
3 a.m. in the morning. Submit. Yeah.
It's the only place
God.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kinko's.
But
you
some
know,
of y'all didn't get you guys didn't get the ammonia machine. When you
Oh,
had
Oh,
to
I
print
have
off
that.
the
No,
wall.
no, I lived
Oh.
that too. I lived that.
Oh,
Clears out your
Yeah.
sinuses.
Yeah, try
I'm
doing that
surprised
in
I
an
don't have cancer.
enclosed room with no
You just
air,
go there.
no ventilation, no windows, no nothing. 2
Hey,
ammonia.
we all probably have
Yeah.
cancer.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, you
No, I
certainly don't have
Shut
a
up.
cold.
I mean, I had a person come
It was
in,
high. It was
in the
good.
military. Like I said, there's no vents, there's no windows. You got to keep the door shut.
Mhm.
You had the big industrial one. We ain't talking about the little
Yeah.
giant
Yeah,
industrial.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
he goes, okay, I need this set of plans. I looked it up, 268 sheets. And he goes, I need 8 of them. I'm like, what?
Mhm. Mhm.
I can't
I remember
breathe.
those days. Yep. I remember
Took us
those.
3 days. We were
It was
taking
awesome.
turns every 2 hours, me and an airman, and
Yeah.
walk out every 2 hours, go outside, get some air,
Yeah.
and we switch.
Yep.
3 days of scanning.
Yep.
Scanning.
Yep.
I was so pissed.
Blueprints.
I was so pissed.
Or take your blueprint and ammonia, go upstairs on the roof and let it sun dry to make
And
your
then the
prints.
last month in the military, we were going digital. So we had to spend the whole month scanning all the archives we've ever had, every print, all the drawers. We're talking about a whole, I mean, I don't know how many, there had to have been 100,000 sheets. And some of those sheets are onion paper, very thin, very old, from the 1940s.
Yeah.
We're trying to scan it really slow so it wouldn't tear, you know, and then document, put tags, save it, blah, 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 put all information so we can easily, you know, pull up the information with filters. But yeah, that was pretty boring. We knew that for a whole 4 weeks, we were just scanning and logging. And so,
Oh man.
yeah, that was pretty interesting in the military days. So let me ask you, does any of y'all get apps from the App Store, you know, at all? Like this App Store, do you actually use any apps from the App Store?
No, I teach it. I let people
I
understand
used to
what
use
it
the
is and how
Align.
it's-
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Align tool is helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Align tool is my go-to.
So I'm looking at the most popular Revit purchases in the App Store, or most downloaded.
Hey,
you know,
Tony,
Lumion's number one.
I'm gonna have to
Lumion Lifesaver.
apologize, Tony, but I gotta check out. I've got a little one to worry about. So, but thank you very much.
I actually have to go too, but I'll finish this conversation first.
Yeah. So it was good to see everybody. I appreciate
Good to
it.
see
Thanks
you
for
too.
coming
Everybody's-
along.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Stay
yeah,
safe.
Katie,
It's good
I'd
to
like
see
to
you
check
then.
out too.
Yeah.
So, hey, great to see everybody.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Have a great night,
Have a
guys.
great night. You too. Bye.
Right.
Yeah, I
Okay,
saw
so-
that Lumion's number one, and then Inkscape's like number 4 as a third party. But yeah, but yeah, we're talking about third party apps. Y'all, if y'all didn't know, I have my own third party apps that I create on the civil side. So, so what I do, since I do engineering design support, when I'm working on projects, I look at stuff that takes way too long, then I'll create an app for it. I didn't go and put it, you know, part of our suite package and stuff. So, and because Autodesk, you know, we put a request, you put it on the wish list, it just sits there for years. You know, I don't know how many of y'all put on the Revit wish list, and did it ever get taken care of? You know, did they ever go create it?
No, so actually the way that works, or at least how the guy told me it works, is that when you submit an idea, that's one vote. And then somebody else might suggest the same idea. Well, that's 2 votes. And like, it has to get a significant number of votes to even hit their radar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So like, if you have something that only like, you know, you and a small percentage of people actually want, you're probably not getting enough requests, and most people don't request. It is hard. But then we have people.
I liked it better when.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I liked it better when Augie was doing the wish list, because they would have a voting time on it.
Yeah.
And then we would hand them the top 10 wishes, and they would come back and say, here's the top 10 from last year, and we've answered these, this, and this type of thing.
Interesting.
But they kept an eye on the wish list throughout the year. There was somebody whose job it was to keep an eye on the wish list, but that's when Augie did it. But then Autodesk doesn't have a relationship with Augie anymore.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's funny because somebody posted on the wish list on the civil side. I was like in the top 10. I wish Autodesk actually looked at these wish list items. It got like 300 votes.
Because we all feel that one, buddy. We do.
I wish Autodesk would actually acknowledge the wish list. But all right, guys, and girls, I don't want to keep you any longer. Thanks for coming online. I'll let you know when I upload this to the YouTube channel and stuff. I think it was a really great conversation. And we'll do another Revit maybe in January. I think next month I'll probably do another civil with the civil team and stuff. So, all right, I gotta get back to work. I gotta go grab me a drink and get back to work. So I'll talk to y'all later. Appreciate it.
All right, you have a wonderful night. See you guys later.
It's been fun.
Bye.
Bye.